don't throw in the exercise towel.
Thank you for the extra promotion in there, too. Have any of you gone a really long stretch of time without working out? Say 3 months or longer? Okay. I understand. It's difficult. We have jobs, friends, family, hobbies, travel. With all that combined, it's hard to find the time and energy to regularly work out. Makes sense. But today, if you've been out of the game for a little bit from working out, I'm going to give you a strategy on how to get started again quickly and easily. And if you're already working out currently, you can keep this in your back pocket, this strategy, for the future if you ever take some extended time off and are having trouble getting started again. So, to be honest, speaking for myself, I've been pretty good at working out consistently. Now that's in part because it's my passion and also because it's my profession as well. But there was one aspect of fitness that I was not so good at being consistent with. And it might seem small at first, but I'll explain it's a little bigger than it sounds. Which was doing stretching and mobility work. Now, I don't know if any of you do any stretching or anything like that. It's part of your own way of staying healthy or active. But it's often not a desirable thing for many people, right? And I was never good at it. And that might not sound like a big deal, but as someone for whom it's my work, I try to be a good role model in being good at all aspects of fitness. In addition to that, I know that being in this career, that stretching is good for helping you prevent injury, as well as just moving better. So why didn't I do it? Well, 2 reasons. First, I didn't want to do something that, frankly, didn't burn fat or build muscle. Like many of you, that's why you work out. That's why I work out often too, and it didn't contribute to that. So I wasn't motivated to stretch because it didn't make me look any better. Vain, but true. The other reason is because the time that it took. I already spent a lot of time working out frequently, and I didn't want to commit more time doing stretching. Now, how I solved this problem of actually making stretching a regular part of my life, the principle that I applied is the same principle that can help you if you're struggling to get back into working out, because it's the same idea, it's the same issue, right? You're struggling with motivation. I had trouble with motivation to do stretching, as well as I had trouble with time commitment towards stretching. 2 things that you may struggle with your own in your own life with respect to working out: time and motivation, right? So, 2 years ago, about the summer of 2015, I committed myself and I said, all right, you know what? I'm going to pin this down. I'm going to actually be a good fitness professional. I'm going to be a good role model. I'm going to do stretching too. I'm going to make that part of my routine. And I said, well, how much should I do? Well, I know that a good amount is 5 days a week, about 20 minutes each day. And so I got in my head that I need to start with the ideal amount. And maybe that's something you may have done too when you considered trying to get back into working out. You think, well, how much should I be doing? And so you think, well, can I do that amount? And it sounds intimidating at first. And that's a barrier to getting started, is thinking that you should begin with the end result. And that was my problem initially too. So even though I committed to incorporating stretching as part of the daily routine, I had trouble getting started because I said, well, I got to do it 5 days a week. So in week 1, Monday morning, I rolled out my black mat on my hardwood floor in my apartment. I got down on the ground, I did 20 minutes of stretching and mobility, felt pretty good about myself. The rest of the week, I did nothing. Next 4 days went by, I did nothing at all. Second week, Monday morning, rolled out my black mat, got on the floor, and did my stretching. Felt pretty good about myself, except I made no progress whatsoever because I've been a whole week since I had done anything prior. Week 3, I did 0 on it. Week 4, I did 0. I did no days of stretching. At the end of the month, I was really frustrated with myself because at the beginning of the month, I committed to solving this problem. I said I was going to do 5 days a week. I had done 2 for the whole month. And I was really disappointed with myself. So I said, well, what can I do to fix this? What's the problem here? And a little light bulb went on in my head. And I remembered a great piece of wisdom that I got from a nutrition expert, one of the country's leading nutrition experts who I solicited help from when I was having a difficult time coaching a nutrition client. And the client that I had, her name was April, and she was struggling to incorporate any of the nutrition advice that I was giving, any of it at all. She's a good person. She wanted to do good, but much like me with my stretching, it just wasn't happening. So I relayed this information to him and I said, what should I do with this client? How do I fix this problem with her? How do I get her to get started? And he said, Dan, just pose one simple question to her. Ask her, what's the smallest meaningful step you can take? What's the smallest meaningful step you can take? And I remembered that for myself as I was struggling with this problem of trying to be more well-rounded in my fitness and get stretching done every day. And I said, well, when I compare that to what I'm trying to set out to do, which is 5 days a week, that's intimidating to me. It's too difficult. So I said, all right, fine. If all I have to do is 5 minutes a day, just 5 minutes, I think I could do it. Because what time objection would I have if it's just 5 minutes, right? Something you might be able to imagine for yourself if you're trying to get back into working out. And also, I don't have to worry about motivation because it's only 5 minutes. How motivated do I have to be for something that's 5 minutes long? So I was successful at it. I did 5 minutes every day, week after week. And now, fast forward 2 years, and I do stretching and mobility 25, 30 minutes, 6 days a week. And I've been doing that for about a year now. And it all began with asking myself that simple question, what's the smallest meaningful step you can take? So if you're struggling to get back into working out, if you think you have to work out 5 days a week or 3 days a week for hours and hours, whatever it is, don't start there. Ask yourself what the smallest meaningful step is for you. And if you have no idea what that would be, consider, I'll give you an example as a template to work from. 3 days a week, 10 minutes each time. That's it. 30 minutes for the entire week, 10 minutes each time. That's it. Maybe it's a little less for you, maybe it's a little bit more. You can start with that as a template to just get the ball rolling. The idea is simple. Simply choose an amount that you can manage in your head, that you feel like you can actually accomplish without much pain or difficulty while still moving yourself forward. Do that, and motivation and momentum will grow from there. Thank you.